I think everybody has a little bit of negativity to be kind in them, and they also have a little bit of kindness in them.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can all start cultivating the kindness more than the negativity.
100%. People tell me it has the greatest hotel in the world here in Chicago.
Except for Jessica Parker, Magic Run, Son John on Harry Potter.
What did you get? What is that?
I got an Italian beef sandwich.
This is a beautiful city.
It is a beautiful city.
It's beautiful. There's a lot to do here.
And I don't have a problem, with everybody getting some benefit, but what about our own people first? Because here's the thing, I don't think there'll be a civil war here, because...
Welcome to Chicago. Several people told us not to go to the south side, because apparently it's too dangerous to go. Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna go to the south side. Let's go and have a look.
From the quick little bit of research that we did online, here in Chicago, there's basically two different worlds that are living side by side. So you got the north side of Chicago, which seems to be a little bit middle, upper class. The median income there is over $100,000 a year. And then you have the south side, which we're gonna start this video off in. The median income there is less than $50,000. So you have a huge wealth divide in those two parts of the city, and in the south side is where the majority of the crime reputation, the bad crime reputation that Chicago has. I've always known Chicago. For as long as I've known the city of Chicago, I've thought about it as, that's a sketchy place, people get shot there. Now that we're here, I'm very curious to see that. So in this video, we want to show you guys both sides. We're going to show the bad, we're going to show the good, and we're going to show all of the in-between as well. So come along with us on the ride here in Chicago. We're about to take the L train, or the elevated train, supposedly.
Coming out of the station here, we are immediately greeted with this beautiful building here. It's called the Forum. It's a community building, and on the outside you have Miss Margaret Burroughs, Miss Gwendolyn Brooks, and Nat King Cole directly there. Three legends that are from this area here. That gets me kind of excited just to be looking around.
Riding on the L train, getting the view of the downtown, that was actually quite beautiful. And we have been blessed with some incredible weather today. But I have to tell you guys, coming off of that L train from the downtown where we're staying, it does feel like we've entered a totally different city. It doesn't even feel like we're in the same city, to be completely honest. Here you go. Yeah. Houses are, for the most part, around the station anyways. There's a lot of abandoned houses. Looks to be boarded up. Businesses. This place is Bronzeville. This is known as the Black Metropolis. Now, believe it or not, around 1916 all the way up until the 70s, there was what was known as the Great Migration. African Americans coming from the south of the US up to the north in search of opportunities and jobs and a way to make their life better, basically. And that resulted in what is now known as Bronzeville. What a beautiful dog.
Thank you. She saw you all a block away. To greet you all.
It's gorgeous. Hello.
We're the first time here. We're from Europe.
We're here from Europe, yeah.
From where in Europe?
I'm from Ireland.
I'm from Germany.
She's from Germany.
Nice.
We're just here to check out the place. We're making videos about the area, seeing what it's about.
Yeah.
And we heard about the history of Bronzeville, and we had to come and see it. Louis Armstrong is from here.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. His house is somewhere close by, right?
So if you go down this block here, there's some historic homes, and then when you get to Vincennes, make a left, and there's some more historic homes, and there's like plaques outside.
Oh, nice.
Thank you so
I can't wait to
much.
see it. Thank you so much.
You.
So here you go. This guy's is an example, I guess, of what I'm talking about. So the separation of the two sides of the city. So where we're staying, believe it or not, is a little bit further on the north side. It's called Westridge. It's kind of like Little India, I guess you could call it. vast majority of it is sort of like upper middle class, whites and Asians. Here on the south side, the history of Bronzeville is very interesting. So it has always been heavily segregated. Due to the Great Migration from 1916 up to the 70s, millions of Black Americans, African Americans moved up from the south to the north in search of jobs, opportunities, because there's a lot of industry that was happening up here in the north, especially to do with the automobile industry, for example. Similar story to places like we've seen so far already, like Pittsburgh and Detroit. The whole sort of Rust Belt scene and all of that good stuff brought so many African Americans up here. But what happened here in Bronzeville is it turned into basically a city within a city, where you had around, at the peak of the population, around 300,000 African Americans that were here, segregated, quite literally segregated, and completely removed from the rest of Chicago. And then you had race riots break out. I'm going to flash up different information here so you guys can actually pause it and read it if you want to read more about it. But there was race riots that broke out due to an attack, violent attack by a white person on an African American that took place on a segregated beach, and that resulted in some of the most violent riots in American history, actually. So the history here in Bronzeville goes back, it stretches back. It's one of the most important African American communities in all of the US, and certainly here in Chicago. As I said, guys, it feels like a world apart from where we came from in Chicago.
It does feel very, very different, and obviously we are nowhere close to the worst parts of Chicago, but from the first impression, I kind of feel like this whole "don't go there, that's so dangerous," I'm not sure how accurate that is nowadays. Maybe it has a really bad reputation historically, but right now it feels just like another neighborhood.
Believe it or not, guys, we're outside the home of Nat King Cole. Nat King Cole grew up here on these streets. Well, he's actually from Alabama, but he grew up here on these streets. So did Louis Armstrong. This guy is an absolute jazz legend, jazz music legend. He sung the song L-O-V-E. What an absolute classic. Another thing worth noting, guys, is that the investment differences between the north side and the south side of Chicago is massive. There's huge amounts of money that's spilled into the north side, whereas the south side definitely is sort of an afterthought for the most part. At least that's what it looks like. You can feel very, very strongly, this is just coming from us here as Europeans, but we have felt this in a lot of the different cities so far in the US. There's a strong feeling of segregation, and I know that the word segregation here in America sounds like such a heavy,
divided.
it sounds like such a heavy word, like it's a really loaded thing when you say segregated in America, but I just mean it feels like there's literally a wall separating two sides of reality. Here in the south side, the reality is a lot of people going from paycheck to paycheck, a lot lower incomes, you know, child support needed, a lot of different community services needed, EBT cards are needed here, and I see that on a lot of the businesses, EBT accepted. And you see that in certain areas of different cities. Here in Chicago, on the south side, that's the reality. You go up into the north side, upper middle class, whitey-tidy. The houses are very nice. The crime drops, 10x drop in crime rate, literally. Some of the safest neighborhoods that we've ever seen. Like, we feel incredibly safe in a lot of those areas up in the north, just walking around. And then you come down to the south and it flips over. So I think that is how I would define segregation. Wow, so there you go, guys, first hand off of that lovely lady.
How does it look so? Why does it look like friend if it's not friend area?
Yeah, so she just said to us this area here is particularly dangerous. As you said, you're on the south side. They will rob you. Don't take out money. Don't take out phones. Don't even hold things like the camera that I'm holding right now. So I'm happy we were able to show you a little bit of the south side without something happening to us. But there you go. The danger is definitely present. The stereotypes are definitely real. We're not making them up here. So please keep that in mind. And I'm glad we got to see what we got to see. Now, we're going to show you guys a little bit more, I guess, of the polished North Korea side. The sort of like, you know, the downtown, the riverside,
The North Korea.
the north side, the polished side. Let's go and check it out. We have some friends that are going to show us around. So let's do it.
Welcome to
It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
I'll give you a hug.
Welcome.
Watch you guys.
Thank you so much. Hi.
It's so
the YouTube TV stars.
Oh no.
So we walk through a street, like it can be one street, one avenue,
Yeah.
and it feels like you go through 5 countries
Yeah.
in one street. That's not the case in Europe. Or it hasn't been for a long time. But here in Chicago, New York was the same, Detroit was the same, definitely.
What do you think of the Chicago? You don't have the garbage piled up on the street.
It's
because we have alleys.
It is unbelievably cleaner.
Yeah.
Like before.
so good to hear.
No, really, it is. It actually, you guys really do put New York to shame when it comes to the garbage stuff. I couldn't, but actually, the dirtiest city that we've seen, though, in terms of a larger city, was Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
Philadelphia.
You didn't get over
was-
to Kensington, did you?
We did.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Michigan Avenue and Magnificent Mile, but Magnificent Mile is kind of the nickname, right?
It's the nickname.
Okay.
It's kind of what people call it because of, you know, it's just the polished stone, if you will.
Yeah.
And it's where a lot of business happens. They have their difficulties lately too, but not as bad as other places. You know? It works out really, really well.
It's
in
kind
Chicago.
of like, it's almost like, it looks to me like kind of like Fifth Avenue.
Yes.
In New York.
Yeah, it's
That's
very
what it
much
feels
like it.
Okay.
Very much like it.
It's beautiful.
Some of the great hotels, great shops.
Yeah.
We have some out-of-town visitors from Germany coming in that want to go to some famous popcorn place that I don't even know about.
Yeah?
You know, that's somewhere on Michigan Avenue.
That's cool.
Yeah, kind of cool stuff.
It's
Cool
really,
stuff.
really nice. I like it. You see also as well, what I noticed in Chicago here is you guys have some really historic buildings.
Yeah.
And then it's blended in with like these beautiful brand new modern buildings as well. But I like how you guys try and hold on to some of the history as well.
And you know the tallest building in North America right here, right?
That's is it the Sears Tower?
Yeah, and you said it right.
Yeah.
I don't care how they spell it.
They call it the Willis Tower or
WILLIS. It's
something like
Sears
that. The
Tower.
Sears Tower.
You pronounce it Sears. I don't care how they spell it.
Yeah. I read that online. I did some research.
Yeah.
They were like, do not, whatever you do, don't call it the Willis Tower.
Right.
Guys, this is absolutely gorgeous. Have a look at this. It's such a gorgeous building. It's real like intricate details in all of this as well here. I love how Chicago does this. So you've basically blended in incredible history. Now obviously America is a very new country. Us coming from Europe, America is historically very, very new, and you will not see history that is, you know, thousands of years old, for example. But this stuff here, a good couple hundred years old, maybe back to the 1800s. The guys obviously had a massive fire as well that eradicated so much of the city. But you do see some very beautiful, historical, gorgeous architecture here, blended in, of course, with all of the big high-rises, which I find fascinating.
So yesterday was the big No Kings protest here in Chicago.
Yeah.
Do you think people actually go towards the Trump Tower and protest in front of it? Or
They do,
is
but
it
they
just-
usually keep them at a distance, you know, and rightfully so. I mean, people are just trying to have a living, maybe travel, whatever they're doing. And yeah, everybody should protest. It should be peaceful, say your say, you know, If you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't. That should be fine, because that's America.
Yeah.
You know, we are such the melting pot.
Yeah.
You know, truly, because we have people literally from everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think there's
You're an
a place-
immigrant nation. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And as long as the immigration happens in a normal, legal manner, absolutely no problem.
Yeah.
Luke and I are both immigrants,
Yeah.
by the way.
But also, you know, you know, when people come here, we need to know, you know, do they have some horrible disease? You know, it's like we don't want things to spread, and that's kind of a something that should always be done, in my opinion. When I was a teenager, working at a fast food restaurant, shall be nameless, but
McDonald's.
I had to get a TB test to even work there.
Of course.
Now they don't do anything.
That's normal.
You know, and well, it was normal.
This is absolutely jarring but beautiful. Check this out. Look at that walkway. It's probably like a good 40 meters or more. I'm sorry guys, I don't know what that is in feet. What that is in bald eagle times miles, but it's beautiful. And just being here is absolutely gorgeous. Views of the river as well.
I mean, you could do what you want. I would say, hey, just FYI,
Yeah.
that there are places that
Well,
our
and-
family wants to see. And I said, I'm not going there and I'm not going there.
Yeah.
You know?
I heard the south side and the west side. Those are like the two parts that you like typically try to avoid.
Hyde Park is, you know what, I don't know the
We avoid
directions.
Hyde
Daddy knows
Park,
all.
too.
Oh,
But
okay.
here's the thing, but things happen down here. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're down here at 1 a.m. on a Saturday,
Yeah.
again, in the salon there, they've watched bodies being dragged up out of the river.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a city and you've got a lot of people. Having
Yeah.
said that, I wouldn't recommend walking, you know, like I tell her, like
With your phone
young people,
out.
like
No.
don't have your phone out, just
Don't
be
have
walking.
a watch that's too nice, probably.
No, be aware.
It's the same in a lot of the big cities.
Yeah,
like
you guys
it's the same
said
in
that.
London. In London, even.
Yep.
You can't flash your phone at all.
No.
In a lot of Europe now.
It's just so sad and so scary because this is a beautiful city.
It is a beautiful
It's
city.
a
lot of
beautiful.
history.
There's a lot to do here. You guys could spend
Yeah.
a summer here
Literally.
and not see everything.
I said it to Naomi when we arrived. Even like we only arrived at nighttime, and we were walking through here just briefly before we went to our place. And I was like, "This is beautiful. Like
It's
a
beautiful.
seriously beautiful
Even
city."
here at night is gorgeous.
Yeah,
tell
the
you,
skyline.
This Trump Tower, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's not been rented out. I don't know what their plans are, but I was telling Naomi,
Yeah.
I have a lot of great ideas if I could talk to the right person. But
Yeah.
a lot of great ideas.
There would be a really gorgeous restaurants that you could do here, probably overlooking the river.
Yeah, I think you could do almost anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's convenient. They have parking, of course, and of course it's in the city, so train,
Yep.
cab, bus, everything to get around. But I mean, just
Very
look
expensive
at
real
this.
estate, probably.
It's just stunning.
Yeah, it is gorgeous, and the location is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a stunning city.
Yeah, and I was showing Naomi. This is the Riverwalk, which they really cleaned up nicely, and they made it beautiful.
Yeah. Do you notice a lot of homelessness in Chicago or
You
in
see
the downtown?
it in the downtown. You see it. We
Yeah.
passed up somebody today already.
Okay.
I don't know if you were paying attention there or not,
Yeah.
but you do see it. Sometimes it's worse than others. If you go along the highway, a lot of times in and out of the city, you'll see encampments on the side.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's
I
not
don't
as
think
aggressive.
it's as bad as other places.
No, it's definitely not as aggressive as Philly or New York.
Yeah,
That's
or
for
San
sure,
Francisco
from what we've seen.
or anything like
oh,
that.
I've heard San Francisco
Yeah.
is extreme. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this is absolutely gorgeous. I can't get over how the city looks.
Take a look over here. And they have areas here. I think it's just a little further down there where they do shows next to the river too. These are shops, restaurants, all sorts of fun things here.
Yeah, this is
And
beautiful.
again, this river in the late 1800s was changed to flow away from Lake Michigan. It used to flow into Lake Michigan.
Ah, so it was
people
bringing
were dying
garbage in.
of, well, not just garbage. People were dying of listeria and cholera and all this kind of stuff because it was in the drinking water.
Wow.
And
It was a bit of a Flint, Michigan situation.
no, that's still different. That was the pipes, actually.
was the pipes.
The acidity level opened up the pipes because a lot of places, even in Chicago, there's still some lead pipes.
Yeah.
But they're coated on the inside with mineral. So
yeah,
long as you
true.
don't change that coating, you're fine.
Okay.
Once that the coating is gone,
Yep.
like with the acidity change and stuff like that, all of a sudden you're leaching lead back into the system.
Okay.
Of course, I do like to tell people if you don't get your iron and zinc, you should get your lead and mercury. It's like you got to get your metals somehow.
Yeah, your heavy metals.
No, but I love the Riverwalk area. I love this area of downtown.
It is gorgeous, especially here with the sun.
Oh yes.
Ooh, I can't imagine what it's like in the summertime. Probably 100 times busier as well.
A lot busier.
Yeah.
A lot busier. More people come out in the summertime. Although you see a lot of people that come from warmer climates, whether it be Florida or whatever, and they come here even now, and they're cold, of course.
Yep.
And we're pretty comfortable, right? But we're comfortable now. We might be a little too hot in the summer. Where they're comfortable in the hot summer. Yeah. Because we can get pretty hot.
Does it get hot up?
Chicago gets extremes.
Okay.
We get high humidity, high heat. We do get some dry heat too, and we get a lot of cold weather. We don't usually get a lot of snow.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes we do, but it's not too often.
Snow is a nuisance.
It is. It is a nuisance.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of costs on that because they throw salt and they brine the streets and all that kind of stuff.
When we were walking through New York with the snow, it was a nightmare, especially like getting our luggage through. And then you have the whole cleanup effort, like you said. It's so much money that goes into that, I think.
Oh, yeah.
The storage of salt and all of this
We
stuff.
had snow about the same time they did. It was the day before they did. Not as much, though. Not as much. But before you guys got here, I think it's all melted.
Oh, yeah.
Because it didn't take much to melt, and we're on a roller coaster now.
Yep.
Because just in a few days, we're going to go from about 75 degrees to 40 degrees.
Yep.
There's going to be a big drop,
Crazy.
And that, to me, is actually a normal spring.
Yeah, true.
I always say we don't usually get a normal spring or fall. It's just like hot, cold.
Yeah.
Cold, hot. And that's the end of it. I like to tell everybody we have mountains here too. They just happen to have elevators in them.
Oh,
because Illinois, for the most, I should say, northeastern Illinois in particular is very, very flat.
Okay. Yep.
It's
That's why it's the Windy City, right?
No,
you guys are,
no, it's
why is
not.
It
has nothing to do with the wind.
No,
it truly,
I thought I was being smart.
No, it's called the Windy City because of the long-winded, hot-winded politicians.
Oh,
that's really what it comes from.
Okay, that's actually something that I wanted to ask you as well. Okay?
Yeah,
I've heard that Chicago, politically, is the most corrupt city in America. Is that true? In your opinion?
In my opinion, I don't know if it's the most corrupt.
Okay.
But I think there is a notable amount of corruption over the years.
Yep.
But there are other places I've found to be
even
at
worse.
least as corrupt, if not more. The problem is it's so big of a culture that we have here, whether it be in the city, state, or the country as a whole, that you're always going to be dealing with that. Now, to weed that out, that would be the great thing.
Yep.
Weed out the corruption, right, wrong, or otherwise, as long as you can kind of weed it out.
Yep.
And I just saw an interview, actually, with, was it John Fetterman?
Yep.
And he's kind of an interesting character. But he talks about one thing in particular that I wholeheartedly love.
Yep.
And that's you just have to have dialogue.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to agree with everything you talk about or your positions. You're not going to agree with everything of mine. Again, I was probably dropped on my head as a child a few times, so there's a few screws loose. But at the same time, it's like, we should be able to agree to disagree.
Yep. 100%.
And that's always the problem when you're in a state that's mostly one political party in control.
Yep.
And we are here. And I'm not going to say that the Republican Party doesn't have issues, but the Democrats have some big issues right now 100%. To work on.
Yeah.
And also Republicans in their respective states have some big issues to work on. There's a balance.
Because America, for us as Europeans, it always appears so divided politically.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, friends of mine, and I have a lot of cousins that live here, and they always say, some of them say there's going to be another civil war at some point because of how divided it is. I hope not. That would be horrific. But it always does feel like there's such a division, and I feel like the hardest thing about that division is trying to establish dialogue.
I don't think there'll be a civil war here because as an American, I think most of us are at least lazy enough to be complacent on things. It's like, it's like, Luke, I'd really like to go out and rough you up real good, beat you up, but how about a burger?
Yeah.
It's like, and I think most people are like that, so just let everybody kind of do their thing.
For the real in front of Detroit. Hey, let me rap for you, young man.
A rap?
Yeah, I'm gonna rap my own thing. Hey, he got Eminem. He know Eminem, Detroit.
Yes.
Let me live. Let him live. Hey, look, I'm gonna rap my own thing. How you doing? Hey, what's your name, beautiful girl?
Rachel,
Hey,
thank
she
you.
like a white holiday. Makes sense when a nanny named Fred had a crush. What the hell happened to you? You could have tell us shit. Hey, I hated that show. What was better, that or Seinfeld?
Seinfeld.
Hey, George Costanza. Hey, come on. Look, I'm gonna rap. Yeah, I'm serious.
No way.
Hey, God bless you. Hey, I'm about to. Hey, you want me to rap for?
I think we need to hear it.
Hey, I'm allowed to cuss. My mind going 2 different time zones. Keep everything in the cap app. Hey, one captain. I'm on everything with the 5 and the 6s.
Now give me a good song.
Hey, I'm great.
Seinfeld into it.
No, I even George Costanza, but I ain't never call him nigga like Michael Richards.
Oh my God.
Big nose, guess what? I turned Pinocchio a picture. If I'm right there in the Cubs game, Harry Carey, look at me different. Look at him with the medallion. Polo on, handsome guy talking like Bad Bunny. It feel like a Super Bowl, get super cold. I can't even get super cold to Sub-Zero. Ain't no hero is bigger than that. Gianni Versace was bigger than that. Ooh.
Thank you so much, bro. Ooh, he's still going.
I'm going to infinity. I'm
you,
trying
bro.
to see what hurt. The next shot from Charlie Kirk and J.F. Kennedy.
Oh!
Woo! What's the recipe? Serica Jessica Parker, Magic Run. San John on Harry Potter.
Right, guys, so here we have an example of 2 buildings that survived the Great Chicago Fire. So this here is a old water tower, and down here is actually the pump house, and the pump house now serves as a theater. Fascinating. And right here in the center, the black crisscrosses, you've got the John Hancock building. That's a beautiful building, very jarring looking, and it looks very different the way that it's actually laid out with that crisscross pattern as well. But it's amazing to see 2 buildings that have been standing here and survived that massive, disastrous fire.
It's in your country's colors.
Yeah, Irish flag, yeah.
There's the bean. Cloud Gate. Cloud Gate. The real name.
The bean. Why is it called the Cloud Gate? I didn't know
That's
that.
the name of it. It's Cloud Gate.
I thought it was just called the Bean.
No, that's
the nickname.
That's just a nickname neighborhood
Oh.
in Chicago. Yeah, it's Cloud Gate.
The Cloud Gate.
Yeah, so if you ever on a game show.
We actually looked at Google Maps and it said the Cloud Gate, and I was like,
That's
what is
it.
that? What is?
That's it.
All these people are taking pictures. I'm just going close to.
That's really trippy. You can get a reflection of the Chicago skyline right here in the beam.
Oh yeah, true.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's funny.
Let's try the Billy Goat Tavern and Grill, shall we?
We are at the Billy Goat, the world famous Billy Goat apparently, and look at the way that they spell cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
What did you get? What is that?
I got an Italian beef sandwich.
Oh, okay.
So I heard when you're in Chicago, there's a couple things that you need to try. Tavern style pizza, deep dish pizza, Chicago style hot dogs, and Italian beef sandwiches. So I got an Italian beef sandwich.
I think they have pickled peppers and pickled tomatoes and all of that on it.
Big sliced beef. Look at the size of the thing. Unbelievable.
It's a two-hand job.
It's a 2-hand job. Unbelievable.
Is it?
Really tender beef, really thin, and it's spicy as well. That's so good.
Italian beef. Now I feel really guilty. I was like, I'm gonna have a cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger looks good.
You got such a nice, like a special thing, and I was like, oh, just get me whatever is the most basic bee food possible. It's so nice. And I'm like,
So fancy.
okay, I just have a cheeseburger. You saw me eat cheeseburgers probably 95
In every video.
times. That is A-okay. Check this out, big sailing boat here in the Navy Pier. This entire pier used to be just Navy, right?
Was military at one point, yeah.
Military, and then it was just transferred into private hands?
It was Northwestern University that used it for a time, and then the city took it over. They did their first Chicago Fest, Taste of Chicago here.
Ooh.
And then it kind of kept on falling apart until they built it up into this wonderful public mecca.
And now you have all sort of small bars and restaurants out here.
Restaurants, and
tours.
Some retail and tours.
And
absolutely.
tours. This scene is called Defense. The question is, well, I assume it's probably the Indians defending themselves, obviously, against the people who were settling the US. That's what I assume anyways. There's not a whole lot of context added to the situation because the little script that was underneath was wiped away. You can't read it anymore. But yeah, interesting design choice for a bridge. Sorry. Thank you. Very interesting design choice for the US, obviously, with its very loaded history when it comes to Native Americans and settlers back at the time. A lot of the settlement was obviously happening through violent takeover, and then a lot of other settling was happening through selling land and business deals and all of that. So it's kind of like a mix of all of them. So yeah, that one was called Defense.
People tell me it has the greatest hotel in the world here in Chicago. The biggest, the greatest, the best. It's not made in China. Greatest views. Best views in the world from the Trump Tower. Some might say they're the best views. People tell me, they say Donald, you've got the best views. Look at the window.
You've never seen anything like this view before.
You've never seen it before. These windows are not made in China.
The iconic Chicago Theater, guys. Mm-hmm. What a beautiful sign. I love the contrast of the sign against the rest of the city, just a big bright orange.
Oh yeah, and at
it's
night
so
it's
cool.
really bright.
Yeah, true.
Get him the big one.
Ooh. Thank you.
He's a big man.
Smells so good.
Well, it's there anyway.
You guys can do it, okay?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We're gonna try some deep dish pizza, guys. We're in Chicago. Once you're in Chicago, deep dish pizza, tavern style pizza. Those are the two types. Let's try a deep dish for now. This is Pizzeria Due. There was Pizzerina Uno.
No, there is a Pizzerina Uno. There's both.
Yeah, there's both. Okay. This is Due.
It's so big that I can't even put it on my fork.
No, it's crazy.
Lord help me. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Oh, it's probably very hot as well. Be careful.
The dough is like Barnum.
It's so sloppy.
But the dough.
Oh, is it too hot? Mine is too hot.
I'm sorry. I'll never.
It's nicer than I thought.
Wow, look at that. It's like a cake.
It's just kind of like a pizza on steroids.
Pizza on steroids, yeah.
Yeah, it's crispy. But
I thought I would really hate it, but I don't hate it as much as I thought I would.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's a cake made out of pizza.